right, this afternoon I want to talk to you about how to engage in conversation and how important that is. 90% of Americans in North America, people in North America, are on social media. How many of you have a way that you can reach 90% of your community? There are so many people, and as others have talked about earlier this afternoon, that are connected, yet completely alone in the middle of a connection. Last fall, a young man in Central California pulled out his phone, opened up Facebook, and prepared to write his last message. Life hadn't gone very well for him. He was discouraged. He was depressed. He thought he had no friends. And the first thing he saw when he pulled up Facebook was a message that said, "Do you need hope? Send us your prayer request." He clicked the button. He wrote down his prayer request, thinking that nobody would be there. And yet, immediately, around the world, people were praying for him. Never before have we had a society that has been more connected and yet more in need of meaningful connections. All around us are people. We're standing here today, sitting here in a room full of people. And yet so many people are alone, isolated, yet they have at their fingertips social media and the ability to connect. In 2020, the General Conference did a study of how do you reach people online? We have social media, we can create ads. What is the best way to engage with people? You can see some of the topics there, but on the right-hand side, by far, the number one way financially to connect with people, the number one way to get a response from people is through prayer. Prayer covers so many areas and so many denominations. People are always looking for prayer. So at Adventist Information Ministry, last year we participated in a project in Central California, and here's the gist. Put out ads on social media, give them a quick response, and provide pastoral care, and then connect them to the local church to develop long-term relationships. What are the ads? We put ads on the Meta platform, so Facebook, Instagram. It was a simple ask. Connect for prayer. We want to pray for you. And all of these ads were served from the local church page. So they came from that community, and they were geo-targeted within 5 miles of that church. The next piece is provide a quick response. Most people don't expect to get a response. They don't think that someone is out there and that they're going to get personally responded to or prayed for. So at AIM, we have a team we've been doing this for 41 years, answering phone calls. And now we're building a team that is responding on social media 18 to 21 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we provide them with a quick response to meet their immediate need, and then we provide initial pastoral care. We want to make sure that the people that are requesting prayer are prayed for. If they are in desperate need of some kind of help, right away, we want to make sure they get that help. But this is the key. It's not what we can do at AIM. It's what happens at your local churches. We want to make sure that the individuals that connect build a relationship with the local community church. So it's regularly connecting with the interest. It's responding every day, every 2 days, making sure that they know that they're prayed for, providing them a message of hope for whenever they are ready to respond. Sometimes they don't respond quickly. Sometimes it takes time. But we want to make sure that we meet their needs. So what do the ads look like? We did over 800 different ads for 6 churches, trying to find out what the best way was of spending money. Well, of spending the least amount of money. And by and large, the ads that connected the most were ads that were local to that community. So as you can see on the left here, Modesto, California, that's a key place in town. If you've been to Modesto, you've seen this sign if you've driven through town. Fresno, San Francisco, whichever ones, we wanted to make sure that these ads connected with the community. And we also found that ads that were personal also made a difference. Let me show you a couple examples here of some short ads that we did with the local church.
Do you ever feel overwhelmed in this fast-paced digital world? Remember, you're more than just a username or an email address to us. We are real people with open hearts, ready to lend an ear, chat with you, and even pray alongside you. I'm Pastor Josh, inviting you to let your guard down and share your hearts with us. Always remember, a genuine human connection is just a message away.
Each of the churches created ads with their pastors, their Bible workers, and they worked to connect with things that they already were doing in the church. Here's another example.
If you have a sweet little bundle of joy that you would give your life for, but have recently called her words they beep out on reality TV, you have new mom props. Me too. I'm Amy. I believe in the power of prayer for overcoming anger at things beyond our control and for bringing about miraculous change. If you're having a tough hour, day, week, or year, I'd like to pray for you.
And one last one from Fresno.
Are you going through a lot right now? Does it feel like there's no way out? Life can get really tough sometimes, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. At Fresno Central, we are ready to pray for you. We don't use AI, but a team of men and women of God will be lifting you up in prayer. Just tap that button below and share your prayer request with us. And as your pastor and friend, I can assure you, good things will come your way.
This was the local Adventist pastor helping to position the church as the community church. He says, I'm your pastor. And this has completely changed what they do at that church in Fresno. They have over 400 people who have responded to these ads to connect with them. Here's a few examples of some of the types of things that people shared. The way that the burdens that people carry, you don't always see. And yet, they're willing to share that and spill out their hearts in prayer when they know that somebody is there to respond and listen and care for them. You know, we've talked earlier about AI, and there's amazing things that you can do. But when it comes to conversation and connecting with people, AI doesn't get you very far. What people really want is a personal connection. And time after time, as people wrote in, one of the first questions they said, is this a real person? Is this AI? And then we began the conversation, and that's when they started sharing more and more. So it's good to use AI in the right places, but it's good to invest in people in the right places as well. So what were the results? Over 3 months, we placed ads for 6 churches in 6 different communities, and we had over 1,400 qualified interests that came from that. So there were more people that connected and then dropped off. But over 1,400 people began having conversations. Within days, some of them started showing up in the local churches. Over 6 months, we are still in regular contact with over 30% of those individuals. Not everyone has come to church yet, but that's okay. Because every time they need prayer, they know where to reach out. They can pull open their inbox in Facebook, and they can see their local church that they drive by, knowing that these people are praying for them. We've had people that we haven't heard from for weeks or even months, yet something happens in their lives, and they pull it out, and they connect again, and they said, I really need prayer. Ministry begins with repeated conversations. Again and again, people coming back, finding more ways to connect, whether it's digitally or in person. And that's what we want to drive that to, is getting them to connect into your local church. Does it work? The gentleman here in the center, Joel, he showed up after 2 weeks. And he said, Pastor, I want to get baptized. He had grown up as an Adventist and had left because the Adventism and the Christianity that he saw as a child didn't connect with what he understood of Jesus. And yet, God was still working on his heart. And as he began thinking about this, he opened his Facebook, and here was the local Adventist church praying, ready to pray for him. And he reached out and connected. So what are 3 things that we've learned? Number 1, localize and contextualize the ads that you play or that you place. It's easy for me to show you the ads that we use that performed well, but I'm positive they won't work well in your community because it's not your community, it's not your church. But you need to contextualize what you're doing to what your church is already doing and build from there. The second is to involve your local members. When we first started out, we thought, we have a huge team here at AIM of students that can respond to people quickly. We can be there any time of the day for them, make sure that they get what they need. And then somebody said, I'm ready to come to your church. Now you meet Saturdays, right? Is this the address? Where will I meet you? We can't be there everywhere, but that's what the local church members can get involved with. And by getting involved in those kind of projects, they get to see how exciting it is when somebody starts coming to church with them, when they're making friends in their community. And the third thing is meaningful conversations count. We can place ads, we can put out content, we can create all of these things, and yet a lot of the content that we create is at the large end of the funnel. The purpose of that is to get people to connect with people and to develop a relationship, and that only happens through conversations. So what is the secret to digital evangelism? I'm sure you've never heard this quote here before. The Savior mingled with people as one who desired their good. He showed sympathy for them. He ministered to their needs, and he won their confidence. And then he invited them, follow me. We're developing a course right now at AIM. It will be on ALC soon, on how to develop conversations that count, how to engage with people online. So there's the QR code. You can sign up there, and as soon as it's out, we'll let you know. It's something we'll be developing over this next year, but we're planning to release the first version here in March. So I hope this is helpful as you take this back to develop more conversations. Use your digital platforms to connect with your community and begin to develop those conversations. Thank you.